Why do people fail? We're going to talk about it today on the Active Life podcast. What's up, Active Lifers? Welcome back to the show. I'm Dr. Sean Pastuch, joined in studio by Larry Geyer.
Hello, sir.
Remember, if you like the podcast, please hit that rate button, give us 5 stars, write a review, share it with a friend. Let's get right to it. Why do people fail?
There are 5 reasons. 5. The 5 reasons that anyone fails any mentorship. And when I say mentorship, I mean whether you're going through education, whether you are starting a program on your own, whether you are a client going through a coach's exercise plan for you. It doesn't matter. There are 5 reasons anyone fails anything. Reason number 1, you have unclear definitions of success. This means that you don't know whether or not you are successful because you haven't decided what successful means to you. You haven't established any benchmarks. You haven't decided any clear goal at which you would be able to say, I made it. Or even be able to say, I'm getting closer to this thing that I am saying would be successful. The second reason that people fail anything is incomplete or inconsistent action. This looks like you and whoever you're working with, or you on your own, deciding XYZ would get me the result that I want. And then you either fail to complete XYZ, or you fail to complete XYZ as consistently as is necessary for the goal to become true.
Is it not also possible that XYZ was the wrong permutation?
Yes, of course. But if the point is, if you decide that goal is going to produce this outcome, it's been mutually agreed upon that XYZ is the right thing to do at this consistency, it's perfectly possible that XYZ wasn't the thing to do, at which point you then decide, okay, I think maybe it's ABC.
But you have the data.
Correct.
You have clarity. And
exactly.
So you will know what success is because you defined it first. We understand this is not getting us.
Did we hit the bullseye? Did
right.
we get closer? No, got
right.
it. We need to try something
right.
else.
Perfect.
The third reason people fail anything is incomplete or inconsistent communication about how they're doing, what they're experiencing, what they're struggling with, what they believe needs to change, if anything. Especially if you are being led or guided or mentored or supported by someone else. If you are struggling, know that the person wants to help you. The company wants to help you, presumably. If they don't know what you're dealing with, they cannot. If you fail to completely describe the problem that you're facing or consistently describe the problems that you are facing, the person that is helping you doesn't have the information necessary to even try to meet you where you are to be able to guide you more effectively.
I will agree with that if we're giving every company the benefit of the doubt for genuinely caring.
That's all I could do right now.
I'm just
with you.
Dropping the asterisk.
I'm with you. It's why I said presumably that the company wants to do this. Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's why you got soft and cushy in there.
Thank you. The fourth reason that anyone fails anything is because they wait too long. Inordinate time horizons for action. They hit snooze. It's been agreed. Would you say that XYZ in this amount of time is a reasonable action to take to start getting this outcome you're looking for? Yeah, I could agree that makes sense. And then instead of you doing XYZ in the next 72 hours, you do X over the next 3 weeks. Think about doing Y the 4th week thereafter. If you don't do the thing in time horizons that make sense, you shouldn't expect to get it. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes action is absolutely time sensitive. Mm-hmm. If you wait too long, you should not expect the result that you want. If you don't do the thing, you shouldn't expect to get the thing. The last reason that people fail anything is because they change process before they execute process.
Or before they finish executing process.
Yep. So would you agree that XYZ in this way with these people over the next 7 days sounds like a reasonable thing to do in order for you to get that result that you want? Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Instead of you going and doing that, you say, I think I want to try ABC instead. You can try whatever you want. If you're paying someone to lead you to an outcome via a process, use the recipe that they give you to get the dish that you want.
I would go further than that. It's if you're not paying somebody, if you have decided this is what I need to do to achieve the outcome that I want, and you start doing that thing, and the outcome doesn't come the way you wanted it to come at a time that you wanted it to come in, take a step back and evaluate that I potentially have the wrong timeline for the lagging indicators to make themselves real. And we can get to that in another podcast and just dissect that in completion next time. But a lagging indicator, for example, is money. I'm doing all these things and I'm not making more money. I'm not getting more followers, whatever the thing is that you're trying to achieve.
I want to make sure people see what you mean by money being a lagging indicator. Lagging indicator means it's the thing that follows.
Yes. So I really think we should do a full podcast on that. The idea of it is you're getting paid today for the actions that you did or did not take 90 to 45 days ago. Not the stuff you're doing right now. Not at all. It's the stuff you did 45 to 90 days ago that you're getting paid for today. And that is a result of the stuff you did 45 to 90 days before that, and it compounds. So to make a decision about whether what you're doing is working or not based on the immediacy of results is juvenile. It's weak. It's the thing that allows for mental masturbation of it must just be I'm doing the wrong thing. Because if I'm obviously doing the thing so well and so consistently that it would obviously be working if it was the right thing. No, you haven't done shit. You've started, and you're like, how come I'm not done yet?
Yeah, people just get frustrated because you haven't done enough for long enough to see fruit. Plant a fucking seed. How long before that thing is going to bear you an apple?
Right.
You can't speed that shit up.
How much work do you have to do every day to make sure that that seed grows into something that produces fruit?
That's actually the pace of nature. That's how shit works.
Yeah. It's the idea of overnight success being a lifelong pursuit.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why some people achieve some semblance of success and some people don't. It's that they kept going. James Clear talks about this. I think it's James Clear. He's Atomic Habits, right?
Correct.
The Valley of Despair. Have you heard of this?
No.
It's the idea that you're on a straight line. You start doing all of this work when you're at the beginning. And you go. And you're like, I'm doing all of the things and nothing is changing. And what ends up happening is you do not start to see a gradual increase in the outcomes that you desire when they start to tick. It starts a little bit gradual, and then it hockey sticks straight up like a rocket ship. And the reason for that is you were paying all of those dues for all of that time building a foundation that you could build a skyscraper upon. And then it was time to start building the skyscraper.
Just stack bricks now.
That's it. You know, the fruit, we can go back to the garden. It's a great example. Once the fruit starts bearing off of the plant, you're like, what am I going to do with all of this fruit?
Correct.
I have to give some to friends.
Yes.
I don't have room for it. I got a can or something. But before that, you were watering, you were fertilizing, you were weeding, you were all the things that you have to do to have a higher likelihood of success for that plant with nothing in return. It's just, I believe all the things you just described are boiled down to one word, and it's harsh, and it's only because I don't have a better one right now. It's lazy.
I don't think it's harsh.
But I want to speak about why it's lazy. It's lazy in a sense that consistency requires
discipline.
Yes.
And you did a really good job, but it was probably about a year ago describing, or 6-7 months ago, whatever it was, where you described the person who is extremely fit, for whom it's easy to go to the gym and work really hard. That's not discipline when you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to do that. No. You like it, and it's easy for you to do that. It's easier for you to get yourself, it costs you less energy to go to the gym and work out hard for 2 hours than it does to say, I'm not going to go to the gym today. That's not discipline.
Right.
Discipline is consistently doing the thing that's hard for you to do, that costs you more energy to do.
Which in that example, by the way, people may, I've gotten this pushback. So you're saying now that I go to the gym consistently, I should stop going to the gym, and that's how I should develop discipline? No, shut up. That's not what I'm saying at all. And that's just an argumentative thing to throw out there to because you have nothing good to say. What I'm saying is, should you go to the gym today? What should you do when you get there?
Yeah.
Should you walk?
But by the same token, I also want to be sensitive to the fact that if there are people who are spending a lot of money that they feel they don't have extra on, and saying, well, this isn't being lazy. I'm in a legitimate financial hardship right now. Continuing this feels irresponsible.
Right, but I'm going to push back against that, because here's what happens. Perspective is lost. And what happens is somebody buys a program for $7,000. Ours is not $7,000. I'm talking about the random program that I cannot put a name to. I made up a number. They buy a program for $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, whatever. And they don't start seeing money right away. They're like, I'm going to be saddled with this debt forever. Oh, okay. I would like to introduce you to Dr. Whoever, who took out $300,000 of debt after college, to so-and-so Esquire.
They've been paying that for 25 years.
Yeah. The orthopedic surgeon that you went to for your shoulder still has student loans 20 years after school.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Hold on. What that is deep down, and this is going to hurt some people, and I think that's a good thing, because it's the kind of pain that turns into product
action
for them. Yeah. That is a lack of faith in self.
100%.
That is not a catastrophizing debt that's going to bury your family and yourself. It is a complete, utter lack of faith that you can do it.
I want to make that.
I want to finish. Hold on. The reason that that's true is you're looking at it, if you're in that boat, in a very short time horizon. You're looking at it as, how am I going to get through the next year? That's reasonable. I get it. When I went to chiropractic school, I took out $150,000 in loans. And that's because I was able to come home and live the last year at home. It would have been $200,000 if I couldn't do that. There was no big payday after school. No big payday. I went to work for $300 a week. That was what I got paid after school. And then I got a bonus on anything I brought to the practice. So any new business I brought into the practice. Newsflash. If I had to pay my loan back on $300 a week, I'm passing that shit down to my kids. Mm-hmm. The interesting thing about professional school like that does not exist in a mentorship environment. That, as we talk about this, I'm like, shit, should we change what we're doing? I don't know if I like that. We'll discuss it. There's no expectation that you're going to make money while you're in school. You go to chiropractic school, no one is like, hey, I'm through Anatomy 101. I haven't got a patient yet. No shit. You don't deserve one. You'll get a patient years after you graduate. And you've been applying this in somebody else's clinic so that you can actually learn how to do it. But in mentorship, in the coaching world, it's like, make $10K in your first month or your money back.
Ill-founded, man.
It's stupid. Fuck. Now I have to evaluate that.
Do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
One thing that I want to call attention to when people are describing faith in self, I don't know if I can get down with that. What are you talking about? I have plenty of faith in myself.
You don't.
The reason you don't is because we've seen too many people who, if you are someone who's thinking that's not what it is right now, we have seen too many people who are poorer than you, who are less educated than you, who are less resourced than you from a human perspective, that are crushing it. So to say that they made a dumb decision is a dumb thing to say.
Well, the reason it's a lack of faith in self is because it hasn't worked for you yet.
Yes,
yet. Right. And so your belief is it never will.
Yes.
Well, but it has for somebody else. Yeah. What's different about them than you? It's not the market that they're in.
No,
like you just
the difference
described.
is belief in self.
That's what I'm saying. It's this insatiable, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. That's it. And it might not end up being what you do for the rest of your life.
It's treating it like it is.
It's believing that it is until you're doing it. And then you're like, oh, I actually want to do more of that. I find that
beautiful.
Yeah, great.
The goal after the goal only happens when you've crushed the first goal.
Well, I want you to think about it this way. If you needed a doctor, like you badly need a doctor, something is terribly wrong with you or somebody in your family, are you looking for the doctor who's like, I'm going to do this for the next 10 years, then I'm going to get into some real estate? No.
Absolutely not.
But that person might be great. So why not? Well, because you understand that that person is not giving everything that they have to being a great doctor. They're giving as much as they think they need to give to building a doctoral business for the next 10 years so that they can leverage it into something else.
Which leads me to believe they're probably not going to go the extra mile to find out exactly how I can be best helped. That's the person I want.
Which leads me to know they are not going to go the extra mile because they're already thinking about what they're doing next.
Mm-hmm.
I'm what you're doing next, man. I am what you're doing next. I have a problem that you promised to solve. I've been trying to solve it my entire life. It's not working. I need somebody whose entire life is dedicated to solving my lifelong problem.
Feel free to disagree with me here, but I would venture to say that if you're one of the people that stops too soon, your clients deserve better.
Why would I disagree with you there?
Don't know. I'm always open to disagree.
You deserve
your
better.
clients deserve better.
You deserve better.
Everyone does.
Yeah, it's.
But it's on you is my point.
Yeah, but the thing that frustrates me more than anything else is when the only way I can speak to it is when we fail clients. Because I have to take ownership over it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's why as I talk to you here, I'm like, do we need to change the order of our curriculum to stop giving them business early? I really don't like that.
Well, I don't know that it needs to be change the order of the curriculum as much as just change the expectation.
Maybe. But if we change the expectation that we give them the thing that they think leads to the money, then they're like, hey, I did the thing that's supposed to lead to the money. I didn't make any money. Well, we told you wouldn't make any money for 6 months. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, but then you told me how to make money and it didn't work. Like, I don't know if that would make sense in their head. There might be some dissonance there. All I'm speaking to is it's frustrating because I'm like, we know what we do works. It has worked over and over and over and over, like too many times to count. And when it doesn't, what it leads me to thinking is it always, almost always, is coming from somebody who we missed early on or in the sales process somewhere, did not have what it takes to do this, and we sold it to them thinking that they did. I don't know how we do a better job of getting through that. Because
me neither, because I've watched you listen to me ask all the questions that I can think of across 8 calls to make sure someone understood what they were getting into.
It's the debate that we often have is, does somebody need to be the person who we're trying to develop them into becoming before we can enroll them to develop into becoming that person? Or do we allow the person who wants the development to come in before they are the person who they want?
The trick about answering that is that we've seen both happen.
100%. 100%.
We've seen people not be the people and become the people.
There's this thing where I want 100% success for our clients. I know that that's an unreasonable, unrealistic, unfortunately not going to happen statistic. I want to strive for it.
I'm with you, especially with the people for whom we see obvious potential to do it with relatively less energy than it would cost someone else.
I would love to call on the audience for something here. If you have worked with us or if you have worked with another company and you can think of something that if they had done better or that we could have done better, that would have helped you to develop more quickly, more confidently, gain a better belief in self, and develop a successful business, send it to me directly in my personal DM at Dr. Sean Pastuch on Instagram. I want to have the conversation. What I'm leaning towards doing is finding a week where I clear my schedule and just have conversations with people who are listening, who are, offense.
Okay. All right, that's all I got.
Turn pro. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Active Life podcast. Please remember, give us a hand, rate it, review it wherever you listen to shows. We are on a mission to humanize the healthcare industry by professionalizing the fitness industry to empower the individual to live a life unlimited by the way that their body looks, feels, or performs. If you are inspired by that mission and want to jump on the wagon, find us anywhere. Active Life Professional on Instagram, Active Life RX on Instagram. Come to me personally at Dr. Sean Pastuch. We want to welcome you onto the train. We want you to be a part of the mission. We want to offer you the opportunity to pursue this right alongside us. We're inspired by your effort, and we hope to help you in your journey. Turn pro.